Yo, it's your boy GT here from the Gangster Times. Please like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Also hit me up on Instagram, which is gangstertimes_official, and on my Snapchat, type in the search box Gangster Times. A father and son from Oldham and another man who robbed innocent customers interested in buying the vehicles they had advertised for sale have been jailed for a total of 38 years. Between September the 28th, 2019 and February the 15th, 2020, the gang targeted and terrorized at least 18 people who were under the impression of getting a good deal after seeing their vehicles for sale on eBay. The group, who often refer to themselves online as Adam, John, or Jim, would promote the great price for the cars due to the factors such as reduced due to road traffic accident damage, or claiming that vehicles are advertised for a quick sale because of an illness in the family, divorce, or family business in debt. Members of the public would then meet up with the gang with a view to buy the car, but were faced with a group of masked males armed with machetes and hammers. During some of the incidents, the gang was said to have held a handgun believed to be an imitation firearm to the heads of the victims, and a bullet was recovered from a Citroen van the offenders were using. The trio, led by Mohammed Farid of Oldham, targeted vulnerable victims such as women alone and directed them to meet in isolated places in Oldham and around Manchester city centre. To avoid detection, the group was set up new email addresses, phone numbers and mobile phones, and frequently changed them around to avoid being caught. A lot of potential customers on eBay had early inclinations that the cars and groups of people were suspicious and decided against going ahead with the sale and reported it to Greater Manchester Police. However, it's believed 18 people fell victim to their plotting and were robbed by the three who threatened and stole their cash before making off. It's believed that the victims travelled from across the UK to Greater Manchester, with high-end vehicles including a Mercedes, a Porsche and an Audi being advertised. In one of the incidents, a 2-year-old boy was present and his terrified mother tried to protect him from the armed masked men. So as I said, the cars were sold at reasonable prices, with the price being cut explained with a way that they wanted to make a quick sale because of a divorce or because a family member was ill. Mohammed Farid and Faisal Farid, who are father and son, were convicted of conspiracy to rob following a trial at Manchester Crown Court. Mohammed Nazir, Deborah Brooke and Maros Petlik were acquitted of the same offence. Another man, a 21-year-old Adam Marco, admitted conspiracy to rob. So the crimes were committed across Greater Manchester from September 2019 until February last year. Prosecutor Michael Lavery said this was a serious, highly organised crime. Victims were subjected to terrifying violence and robbed of considerable sums of money. The gang used sophisticated methods to try and avoid detection, setting up different eBay accounts and using different email addresses, as well as switching phone numbers. After the unwitting victim had won the online bid, the robbers would agree a location to meet. But the meeting place would often be changed to a secluded location where the robbers struck. During one incident in Oldham in November 2019, a robber grabbed one victim and pushed him against the car after meeting to buy an Audi Q5. He said, "I'm going to chop you up in pieces." He had a machete in his hand before he stole £11,000 off him. Days later, a man who hoped to buy a Mercedes GLA 200 was attacked with a machete in Oldham. He was hit 3 times to the leg, but he was able to escape. The following month, a man wanted to buy a Porsche and he was attacked, and he had a car jack thrown which had hit his face. However, he had no money stolen from him. But he said that one of the robbers had a gun, and then days later a man travelled from London to Oldham to buy a Nissan Leaf. A robber threatened to shoot him before stealing £11,000. Then there were some robberies in January last year. During an incident in Burnage, a victim was punched after robbers smashed his car window. He was told he would be shot unless he handed over cash, but he was able to flee. Another victim had travelled from Norwich to buy a Mercedes GLA in Levenshulme. He had a gun pointed at his face and was punched, with the weapon also being pointed at his girlfriend. The robber stole £9,000. A couple and their 2-year-old son travelled from Manchester to Dundee to buy an Audi SQ5, bringing £15,000 of cash with them. I'll come to that in a moment. They were told the seller's sister was going to meet them at Piccadilly Station. However, there was no sign of the sister and they were instructed to take a taxi to Gorton. After arriving, a white van followed and tried to block them in. 2 men wearing balaclavas appeared, one wielding a machete and the other a knife. The taxi was able to escape the area, but the victims were left terrified as the woman desperately tried to protect her child. Another victim had travelled from London, arriving at Piccadilly Station with his girlfriend before getting into a taxi in Levenshulme to buy a Kia. His girlfriend had a gun pressed to her cheek as the robbers demanded cash, but no money was stolen. Also that month, a victim flew in from Belfast to Manchester to buy an Audi. He arrived at the agreed location in Clayton. 3 masked men appeared and he was wrestled to the ground and hit to the head with a hammer 3 times. He had £16,000 stolen. However, they were finally rumbled when armed officers found them and arrested them as they were about to carry out a sale following an investigation by detectives from GMP's Serious and Organised Crime Group. So Mohammed Farid is 47, the father was jailed for 20 years after being convicted of conspiracy to commit robbery. Faisal Farid is 25, was jailed for 12 years, the son, after he was convicted of conspiracy to commit robbery. And Adam Marco was jailed for 6 years after pleading guilty to conspiracy to commit robbery. Detective Chief Inspector Joe Harrop from GMP Serious Crime Division said these men were exceptionally organised and clearly knew what they were doing and what they wanted. They have left some people extremely shaken up and they are still coming to terms with what they have experienced now. These men had a clear setup and would frequently change email addresses, eBay accounts, phone numbers and mobile phone handsets and provide fraudulent vehicle documentation to potential customers. He said they would clearly target those most vulnerable and direct them to quieter areas where it was more isolated, but thankfully no one was seriously injured. He said the scale and sophistication of their offending was astounding, but they have now been brought to justice thanks to the team of detectives who carefully pieced all of their crimes and helped to put them behind bars where they deserve to be today. As the old saying goes, if a deal looks too good to be true, it probably is. He said, I recommend people not to agree to paying large sums of cash and meet in safe and well-lit areas. So guys, what do you think to that? I'm going to jump in there for a second. So this day and age, the times that we're living in, we've all got access, or majority of us have got access to online banking. What the fuck is the need of taking 10, 15, 20,000 pounds cash to go and purchase a car? If the person's legit and they're selling the car for a legitimate reason, you can always do a bank transfer. We're talking less than a minute and the money will be straight into the account. There's no need to be carrying wads of cash like that. What happens is sometimes these crooks, they let you know. They'll give you the car at a discounted price. Probably the car don't even exist, but they'll give you at a discounted price if you pay in cash. That should set alarm bells ringing. And if you're silly enough to tell someone you're bringing 10, 15, 20,000 pounds to purchase an item, and especially someone that you've contacted on eBay, you're asking to get robbed. So just a bit of advice, keep your wits about you when you're doing trades like that. Let me know what you guys think. It's your boy GT. Keep it locked, keep it real.